Welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us today. If you're a social work student staring down the barrel of your first major project, or a seasoned researcher trying to zero in on your next focus, you've landed in the exact right spot. Today, we're embarking on a structured and honestly pretty exciting journey into one of the absolute most critical foundational steps of your work, nailing down your research area. We're going to take those massive, intimidating global issues and funnel them right down into a hyper-specific, totally actionable research plan. Let's just dive right in.
Okay, here's our game plan for today. We'll hit 5 key milestones. 1. What exactly is a research area? 2. The common fields you'll encounter. 3. The traits of a truly strong topic. 4. Where to find your inspiration. And finally, 5. The step-by-step selection process to get you there. Starting right off with Part 1, what is a research area? Let's define our scope.
So the most crucial thing to grasp here is that your research area, it's essentially your home base. It's the broad field or domain of knowledge that you choose for systematic investigation. Now, it's not the highly specific question you're asking just yet. Think of it more as the overarching framework. It's the foundation that's going to guide your specific questions, shape your hypotheses, and dictate your methodologies. It basically sets up your boundaries so you don't end up wandering lost in the weeds.
And let me tell you, narrowing down that scope is absolutely critical. For example, if you pick a massive topic like unemployment in Nepal, you're going to be completely overwhelmed. It's way too broad, it demands too many resources, and honestly, it usually just leads to really superficial findings. But contrast that with something like unemployment and seasonal migration among youth in Sudur Pashchim province. See the difference? Suddenly you've got a specific demographic, a specific geographic location, and a distinct phenomenon. That is exactly how you set yourself up for accurate, feasible research.
Moving right along to Part 2, Common Fields, the Landscape of Social Work Study.
Social work is an incredibly diverse field, right? But most of our research tends to fall into a handful of key categories. You might lean into foundational or methodological research to sharpen the actual tools we use to collect data. Or maybe you're super passionate about diverse groups, studying the unique, complex challenges faced by migrants or ethnic minorities. But whether you're looking at practice settings, like evaluating social workers in schools, or tackling contemporary problems, like the impact of social media addiction on teenagers, the point is this: these categories align directly with real-world immediate needs.
All right, Part 3, Traits of a Strong Topic. What actually makes a research area good? A truly great topic is a balancing act between ambition and reality. A good research area absolutely must be feasible, meaning do you actually have the time, the budget, and the resources to pull it off? It also needs to be novel and tied to modern trends, so you aren't just echoing old news. You need that fresh perspective. But here's the kicker. You have to find a clear research gap, and above all else, ensure your study is ethically sound. In social work, protecting the dignity, the privacy, and the well-being of vulnerable populations is literally a non-negotiable. You must ensure your research does absolutely no harm.
Which brings us to Part 4, Finding Inspiration, Uncovering Your Focus.
So, where do the best research ideas actually come from? I want you to just pause and think about your own day-to-day experiences and surroundings for a second. Because as a social worker, you are deeply embedded in the raw human experience. Inspiration is almost always way closer than you think. You can find these ideas literally everywhere. Your personal and practical experiences, those are massive drivers. Did you notice a recurring issue during your community volunteer work, or maybe during an internship? Bam! That is an absolute goldmine for research. Existing literature is great too. It shows you exactly what questions are still left unanswered. Or think about agency sources, like NGO monitoring reports. Maybe they reveal a sudden unexplained dropout rate in a local rehab program. Honestly, even your own intuition and the common beliefs held within a community can spark a really rigorous scientific inquiry just to uncover the truth behind those assumptions.
I absolutely love the point made here. Because social work is an applied profession, your research area cannot just be theoretically interesting, it must also be actionable. This brilliantly summarizes our core ethos. We aren't out here just researching for the sake of publishing academic papers, right? Our profession is built on social justice, human rights, and community well-being. So whatever area you end up choosing, it has to ultimately lead to real-world impact. It's got to be actionable. And finally, Part 5, the step-by-step selection process, moving from broad to specific.
We can split this funneling process into 2 main phases. Phase 1 is exploration.
You start by identifying that broad area we talked about earlier, right? Then you dissect it into smaller, bite-sized sub-areas. From there, mark your interest. Ask yourself, what are you genuinely deeply passionate about? Next, consider your past practice experience, and finally, dive into the existing literature to pinpoint exactly what knowledge is missing in the field.
Let's ground this in a totally real-world example to make it stick. Imagine a student whose broad area of interest is child welfare. They dissect this massive topic and realize they're really passionate about the effects of child abuse. Drawing on their past practice experience, they recalled their internship at the Lingap Children's Center over in Nepalganj. While they were there, they directly observed children showing signs of depression and really struggling with peer interactions. Suddenly, their broad focus naturally funnels down to a very practical, very real-world issue right in front of them.
Okay, so once you have that narrowed down idea, you transition into phase 2, which is validation. First up, ask yourself the hard question. Is this feasible? Do you actually have access to the necessary data and the time required to do it right? Next, consult the professionals. Go talk to your professors, chat with agency directors. Then, critically evaluate the potential impact your study will have on the community. From there, you'll create a structured planning table. And lastly, pinpoint your exact target audience.
When you piece all this together, our Lingap Children's Center example transforms into a highly structured, totally actionable roadmap. The broad area is child welfare. The specific question becomes, how does abuse affect social functioning in children aged 6 to 12 at Lingap? The method is going to be surveys, and there is a clear, highly feasible 6-month timeline. By organizing your thoughts exactly like this, you communicate your plan perfectly to your supervisors, and you set yourself up for absolute success.
So, with this step-by-step framework in your back pocket, I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought. Take a look around your own community. Look at the things you're most passionate about, and ask yourself, what specific, actionable social problem will you begin researching today to actually make a difference? Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this explainer. Get out there, find your focus, and keep learning.